I took shredded paper, cement, and perlite. Mixed them all together to make these mushrooms. Papercrete, decorative, indoor, outdoor, magical, mystical mushrooms. You know, there's actually mushrooms that exist like this in nature. They look very similar to these. Okay, maybe not as big.
Trash to treasure every man.
Papercrete. This just might be the coolest stuff you've never heard of. It's an idea, though, that has actually been around probably longer than you or I have been alive. People use this stuff to make planter sculptures. Some people have actually made homes out of it. It's lightweight when compared to concrete or cement. It resists cracking, it's durable, and it uses recycled utility bills. In today's video, I'm going to share with you the recipe that I use to make papercrete. I'm going to give you some tips, tricks, and some valuable lessons that I learned along the way as I tried this for the very first time. I've seen several recipes for making papercrete. Some people use shredded paper and Portland cement. Other people use shredded paper, Portland cement, and sand. I, however, found a pretty good recipe that I like. It was recommended for beginners, and it made a lot of sense to me. And that's shredded paper, cement, and perlite. This is just regular shredded paper. I use old utility bills, insurance policies, junk mail, love letters from an old girlfriend. I better keep that one. It can be cardboard. Newspaper works great as well. That is, if you still read them. Just avoid shiny paper or plastic. Even that plastic from envelopes in that window, you want to avoid that. This is Portland limestone cement, not concrete. It has no rocks in it. It's just the powder. It's cheap. For under $20, you can buy more than you need, and it weighs as much as a pit bull. What is perlite?
Perlite is a naturally occurring volcanic glass that's been heated until it expands. It's lightweight, white, and has a really porous structure. People often use it in gardening to aerate soil, in construction as a light-weight aggregate, and even in insulation because it resists heat and fire really well.
Thank you.
You're very welcome.
Before I dive into the details, if papercrete is something you're interested in trying, you might consider taking some notes at this point. There's a lot of information I'm going to give you, and some of these details can make or break your project, which I literally did. I broke one of the mushrooms. So let me give you the recipe. You use 3 parts of shredded paper, but when I say shredded paper, you don't use it in this form. You have to break it down into pulp. I use 2 parts of cement and then 1 part of perlite. Now, when I say part, I mean any size container. I used a pretzel container. I filled it up to here, 3 times of paper, 2 times of cement, and 1 time with the perlite. Depending on how much you want to make, you can use a yogurt container. If you're making a smaller amount, you can just use a cup. But you want to do this outside because it's going to make quite a mess, as you will see. By the way, if you're wondering how strong papercrete is, stick around to the end of the video where I'll smash it with a hammer. So we're starting with the paper because it takes time to prepare. We need to turn it into pulp, which is basically soggy, broken down paper particles, which kind of looks like oatmeal. I'm using a 5-gallon bucket because I need a lot of paper. Whatever you end up with, cover over the paper with water. You don't really need to measure anything. Just let it soak for at least 4 hours. Overnight, probably better. It shouldn't take a lot of mixing to turn the paper into pulp. A lot of water did soak into the paper, so I'm adding a little bit more in order to mix it easier. I drilled holes into a second 5-gallon bucket so I could drain off some of the water. This was going really slow, and I wanted to start making the papercrete. So I found this strainer that came from a ricotta cheese container last time I made ravioli. It did drain faster this way, but I had to do a smaller amount at a time. 3 parts paper pulp. 1 part perlite. I paused the video here to make a suggestion. What I plan to do next time is to add the perlite after I mix the cement and paper pulp. Adding it now tends to pulverize the perlite during the mixing process. It's probably better to leave the perlite granules as close to the original size if possible. As I'm mixing this, I'm finding that it's really dry. I probably could have left a little more water in the pulp, but I guess it's easier to be on the safe side and add more water if you need it. The end product should be thoroughly mixed, no dry spots, firm, not runny or dripping wet. Let's talk about mixing this stuff. If you were going to make just a small amount, you can get away with one of these stir sticks. If you're going to make, say, up to a gallon in a gallon bucket, you can use an attachment like this on a smaller drill. Now, in my video, I was using this DeWalt drill in a 5-gallon bucket. This is not really designed for mixing mud or concrete especially. I did use it. It ended up overheating a little bit, so it's not a good idea. What you really want to use is something like this. This is a mud mixer. This is a rigid 7122. I happened to pick this up after I used this and after I filmed mixing the Papercrete. I picked this up at a flea market last Sunday for only $60, and it's brand new. Normal price, $160. If you don't have any of these tools, just use your KitchenAid mixer. I'm joking. Although, now that you have your Papercrete all mixed and ready to go, how do you form it into mushrooms? Believe it or not, women's nylon pantyhose. I'm serious. This wasn't my idea. I saw it on a video. This woman used black nylon hosiery. Now, I'm not an expert when it comes to choosing women's pantyhose or nylon stockings, but I did find several samples to try. You fill up the stockings with your Papercrete. Make sure you're wearing rubber gloves as this stuff can irritate your skin. But I found that the strength of the stockings were different. Some seemed to do a better job on keeping the shape of my mushroom stem, while others started to droop. I ended up using some plastic containers along with the nylons. I cut the bottoms off the containers. This helped me to retain the shape I was after. For the mushroom caps, I used the nylon trick again. Fill it up and tie off the end when you think you have it filled sufficiently. I then form the shape over the stem to look like the cap of a mushroom. I struggled a bit trying to get the 3 mushroom stems to not flatten out on me. Maybe it was the nylons. Maybe my paste was a little too wet. The more you do this, you can find a method that works for you. My second mushroom stem seems to be a little firmer. Maybe it's the nylon stocking that I used. I didn't need a plastic container. My third mushroom, however, was the largest, and that one kept flattening out on me, so I cut off the bottom of a yogurt container and used that to retain my shape. When I had all the shapes complete, I put everything into a garbage bag and sealed it up. This allows for the Papercrete to dry slower. Is it necessary? I don't know. I left them in the bag for 4 days before it was hard enough to remove, and then another 6 days out of the bag to fully cure. After 4 days, I was able to cut off the nylons to see what the mushrooms looked like. While they were hard to the touch, they are not fully cured yet. In order to get the caps to fit better, I can carve out some of the Papercrete inside before it fully cures. Here, I was a little rough with this mushroom and I broke it in half. So I mixed up a small batch of the cement only and some water and bonded it back together. The nylons do leave some seam lines and imperfections. They're not bad. I could probably leave them as is, but I want them to look better. So I mix up a small batch of the Portland cement and I use it to patch up all the surfaces to make it smooth. Now the big question, how long do you have to wait before you can start painting these? Now my mushrooms didn't start getting hard to the touch until about 3 days. I made the mistake of painting this one too early. How do I know? The paint never dried. It was wicking moisture from the Papercrete. So I sanded most of this off and I let it dry for a total of 10 days. Now I'm not an expert at this, but if they feel cold to the touch or wet whatsoever, it's still too early to paint. So I took a moisture meter and I got exact measurements for the moisture in all of these. Let me show you. Nerd alert. This is a little science geeky, but it's cool. The cap here has 2.2% of water in it. The stem has 2% on the top and 12% on the bottom. As I get to the larger pieces, there's more moisture because they take longer to dry out. This here is the smallest leftover piece that I had, and so it measures the lowest amount of water. As to the question, when can I paint these? I would say when the moisture content gets below 3%, it's safe to paint. But what if you don't have a moisture meter? How do you know? Well, the only way you can tell is by the touch. If they feel cold, they're probably not ready. This one here feels almost room temperature. I could actually test that with this temperature gun. When I measured this, it was 62 degrees. This, 52 degrees. So these are going to wait a little bit longer, but these 3 mushroom caps those can be painted. I gave this piece one coat of paint to see what it would look like. The perfectionist in me didn't like the finish. However, it turns out that Papercrete can actually be sanded smooth. It ain't wood, so it does take more effort, and you need to use coarse sandpaper. That's not a bad start, but it does need a little more. You can finish it up using a medium grit sandpaper on an orbital sander. If you do sand it, make sure you wear a mask and even eye protection. Before gluing the top and bottom together, I wanted to be sure that I settled on some paint colors that I liked. A bright red for the caps and an off-white for the stems. To glue them together, I'm using a 2-part epoxy. I've seen other people mix some more cement and use that as a binder, but I think the epoxy is going to be much stronger. You don't want to overfill it and have it spill out. I do pour a little more epoxy on the underside all the way around to get a complete bond. If you do make a little spill with your epoxy, isopropyl alcohol seems to work well when cleaning it up. Now I can let that dry overnight. The real question I want an answer to is, how strong is Papercrete? Well, let's give it a couple tests. First one, let's do a drop from 12 inches. Not bad. Let's see if I can snap it in half. Passed that test. It's actually pretty strong. Now I'm going to hit it with a hammer. Wow. That's pretty impressive. Wow, it is really dry. Now it's kind of coming apart in my hands. Once the epoxy dries, I finish up the painting. I used a sponge dipped in paint to blend the white into the red. For the dots, I tried to paint them on, but I didn't like the imperfect circles, so I used 2 different size hole punches and some Cricut permanent vinyl to make these. I know this is a long video, and if you're still with me, that's amazing. But there's one more thing I wanted to touch on, and that's the finish. Do you apply a top coat or a finish after you finish painting these? And the answer is, sure, why not? But you want to use a little caution. I tested this one here. This is called Peel Stop by Zinsser, and I brushed it on one of the mushrooms here, and I really don't like the way it came out. It says it's clear, but it's really not. It left brush strokes in the paint. This is more of a dull finish, satin finish, and these are nice and shiny, which I didn't paint yet. So if you are going to put a top coat on it, you might want to experiment, but I would avoid the Peel Stop by Zinsser. Now I'm going to sum up everything that you've seen in today's video in a little musical montage. Thanks for sticking around. I'm Tom, and this is Allie Picked.
Shred it down, make pulp. Wet hands, messy pile. Paper turns to paste, slow and wild. Perlite in the bowl, limestone in the mix. Stir it till it holds thick like brick. Now it's ready, press it in. Shape the base, shape the skin. Little by little, let it set. Give it time, it's not dry yet. Papercrete mushrooms, hands make magic. Papercrete mushrooms, soft now solid. Papercrete mushrooms, caps and stems align. Papercrete mushrooms, watch them come alive. White on the stem, red on top. Brush it slow, don't let it stop. When it dries, add the dots, little white spots. Finish the plot. Papercrete mushrooms, hands make magic. Papercrete mushrooms, soft now solid. Papercrete mushrooms, caps and stems align. Papercrete mushrooms, watch them come alive. White dots shining, red caps glow. 3 small mushrooms, good to go.